Well, hi everybody here. Are you ready for your tour of sunny California? Let's start by talking about the stars on Hollywood Boulevard and avoid those downer topics like unemployment and education. Because then we have to discuss how California leads the nation with 941 charter schools targeting public education and unionized teachers to further deny us a decent education. Capitalism, as Marx exposed long ago, with increasingly more technologically advanced methods introduced into production, needs less and less educated workers. The real unemployment rate in California is not the official rate of 12%. If you discount their latest schemes at undercounting, you'll come up with an estimate, like many, even amongst bourgeois sources, of over 22% once factoring back in underemployment and discouraged workers. Instead of implementing real solutions to unemployment, the profit by any means necessary of capitalist system allows them only the option of pitting worker against worker. California is next to the apartheid state of Arizona, whose racist legislators tried to justify SB 1070 using the unemployment crisis. But this new crisis is systemic. It's the result of the total reorganization of production by giant monopolies, starting with the destruction and offshoring of manufacturing plants in the 1970s. It's not the work or fault of immigrant workers, nor will the denying of jobs to every immigrant worker in this country change one iota the dynamic of globalization's effects on workers here. And although immigration has been used to increase competition amongst workers here, the root of immigration lies squarely on U.S. economic policies to ruin the economies of countries in Southeast Asia, Africa, Central and Latin America, forcing migration for survival. The bosses created this economic crisis and wage competition on steroids, not the exploited workers. The strength in our demands for jobs correlates to the strength of our unity and solidarity with immigrant workers. That solidarity cannot be sacrificed, and this is uncompromisingly non-negotiable. There is a growing movement of militant immigration activists, many of whom are in the Southern California Immigration Coalition, of which we are a part, who say that any Schumer-like plans criminalizing immigrants and thereby justifying the increasing numbers of immigrants killed at the border between Mexico and California, which has hit record numbers this year. These plans should go the way of bad flatulence. Okay, enough about politics. Back to our tour. One short topic to be avoided in any tourist guide would be California's housing crisis. Also kind of a downer. Los Angeles is the homeless capital of the nation, and this housing crisis results from the desperate need of capitalists and finance to increase their profits, hurt by the fundamental, inevitable crisis of capitalism, overproduction. Their desperation led to ever riskier bets on Wall Street and catapulted foreclosures, resulting in California holding the highest real number of foreclosures in the nation, creating a situation where empty homes and the homeless sit in torturous view of each other. As of September 2010, 1 in 8 are currently in foreclosure in California. Latino and black people have a foreclosure rate respectively 2.3 and 1.9 times higher than non-Latinos and whites. And the crisis is worsened by California's topping the nation in unemployment. A lack of solidarity comes from the lack of understanding of the nature of the capitalist crisis and capitalism itself. There are no jobs because it's not profitable now to create them under this system. And the amount of jobs will never return to pre-1970 levels due to technological advances in efficiency and communication. Instead of blaming immigrant workers, non-immigrant workers in the U.S. should build unity and expose how bailouts for the banks and imperialist war deny us real government-sponsored job programs like the WWP during the Depression. We'll end our tour by not talking about police repression, military occupation, and war against black and Latino communities in California, which is also a byproduct of the economic crisis. The drive to maintain profits during economic crisis creates a new reality for working and poor people, especially black and Latino youth in California, who suffer a 40% unemployment rate. Black people over 19 face a 15% unemployment rate, and the rate is 17% for over 19 Latinos. And we already know the incarceration rate for black and Latino peoples continues to grow at astronomical amounts. The communities representing the most oppressed in society likely will not take kindly to the new the even harsher economic reality of cutbacks in basic social services while jobs and quality of life are dismantled. So the need for repression rises. That's why Johannes Meserly, who was videotaped killing Oscar Grant in Oakland, will likely spend only 7 months in jail. In the last 3 months in California during the so-called trial, we were hit with 2 other atrocities in Los Angeles. Manuel Jimenez, a Guatemalan immigrant and day laborer, was assassinated by a cop in downtown Los Angeles. Then, James Davis, an 18-year-old black youth, was shot in the back while on his knees with his hands raised. Then the cops denied him medical care by a nurse on the scene until he died. We must expose to our class that this capitalist system runs on murder. This ruling class and their press will say it's just a matter of a few bad cops, when the reality is that the job requires all cops to be a part of the conspiracy of murder and mass incarceration. Why? Because they play an important role in capitalism's attempt to maintain injustice, obedience, and order, while it increasingly and systematically takes away the necessities of life from working and poor people. So instead of calling for more cops, we'll be pushing the demand not only for the community's right to control these pigs, but we must build a movement that says people have a right to defend themselves against cops and a right to create a people's police force independent of the ruling class. Well, we've come to the end of the tour, and I must apologize that we did not get to rub elbows with Hollywood stars, but there are some even greater stars, perhaps not from Hollywood, but from South Central and East Los Angeles, who are today some of the most important forces helping to unify and activate our movement. Some of whom we had the honor of addressing our regional Workers' World Conference in Los Angeles. We heard from members of Union del Barrio, an anti-imperialist organization with a strong base in the Latino and immigrant community. A former vice president of SEIU Local 660, now 721, who is a leading member of the 90,000 member union's Latino caucus. We heard from the head of CISPES in Los Angeles, Committee in Solidarity with the People of El Salvador, and from one of the founders of the Palestinian organization, Al Auda. And I just wanted to thank real quickly Monica and Larry and Teresa and Cheryl and Larry Hales and Paul Teitelbaum for the help and the assistance they did for that successful conference and for making it visible all over Los Angeles. I really want to thank Stephen Cece and Sharon Black, 2 great political leaders who are posting machines. Amazing. It is in the interest of all progressive organizations and individuals to set the example for the movement of building non-sectarian alliances with all those who have an interest in abolishing capitalism. And that's what we are building in California. We need to recruit and build our branches while at the same time being engaged in the defensive struggles of our class. We can't abandon our responsibility to our class. We have to do both. And while we're doing this, we should understand that it's the movements of the most oppressed, hit the hardest by the ruling class today, that will lead our class into revolution. And if we have been by the side of those movements all along, we will be their trusted allies and in the position to provide great assistance. And in terms of building our party, some in these movements will join Workers' World and become the leaders that fortify our party and further ensure its role as a relevant and leading fixture on the train barreling ahead towards revolution. Build the Workers' World by uniting all of our struggles for LGBTQ, disability, and immigrant rights, for Black, Latino, Native liberation, to stop war and repression, and to abolish capitalism and to move on towards socialism.